Hey, this is Red Band, and you're listening to the Next Level Podcast. And this episode, I'm joined every episode with new fantastic guests that I've got tuned into the app on Spotify and anywhere that you get podcasts. Check out Tony Hinchcliffe, the Everyday Gizmo Hinchcliffe. You can also check out ShopSwap.tv. Guess what? Merch, hats, mugs, whatever. ShopSwap.tv. And now here's a brand new episode of the Next Level Podcast. Hey, y'all.
for March. First time.
And the thing, but we were there, and we hung out with him there, and every time I see him still, it's completely unfamiliar. Chris Rock, same thing. I do not make an impression with these people.
That's so weird.
I also shut down around celebrity.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe
so I can't inject my personality out of the gates in a situation where I'm like intimidated by like I'm like where I go, not intimidated, but I go, man, I really want them to like me.
Isn't that weird? Because you know so many famous people.
But you know what I mean by wanting to not like me, but I go, if I try to be funny and I whiff,
right,
this sucks.
You just feel nervous.
Right, so I'm like, I could just lay low and not take the risk of being not funny by accident.
That's hilarious. It's hard to
There's no one who intimidates you anymore. I mean, the people you have in here and just strike a conversation with is unbelievable.
No, people don't intimidate me anymore. They inspire me. Some people are fascinating. They inspire me.
Every time I have like a big guest coming in that I don't know on me and Bobby Kelly on the radio show, and someone's coming in, I get like, when they're like, all right, we're going to go get them now, I'm always like, wait, all right, wait, okay, go get them. Because I'm like, shit, what do we even start with?
I used to be like that on Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I go on Opie and Anthony and like they'd have famous guests there. You know, that's this guy. Holy shit, that's that guy.
Yeah,
that's weird.
The first time I went there, I got bumped back to the couch for Ace Frehley. So part of you is like, this sucks, but wow, that's Ace fucking Frehley.
I met Ace Frehley when I was a little kid.
Really?
Yeah, my uncle was an artist, and he was working for this advertising agency in New York City where they made album covers. So they made album covers for Kiss. So my uncle was one of the artists that made the album covers for a lot of the Kiss albums.
No shit.
Yeah, so I was in his office hanging out with him during the day. I was probably 8 or something like that. I was fucking young, man. And maybe I was a little older than that. I can't remember. It's hard to remember. But I was a little kid. It was pre-high school. And this guy walks in with like, you know, long hair, looks weird. Just like a weird dude. And he made some like weird noise, like, it was real strange. And then everybody goes, hey Ace, hey Ace. And I was like, what? Like that's Ace Frehley with no makeup on? Like this is crazy.
You look old.
And he signed a napkin for me.
Do you have it?
Yeah, well, no, I don't think I have it anymore. Maybe my mom might have it. I'll ask her. I doubt it. It got lost somewhere. But it was the craziest thing. I was like, wow, that's the famous guy with no makeup. Because everywhere they went, paparazzi were always trying to catch them. You know, like Gene Simmons would wear like a bandit's mask.
Yeah.
And they were always trying to catch him without their makeup on.
Has a celebrity ever let you down, like when you met them?
Not really.
No.
Honestly, no. No, there's not like, no.
I've always worried about that. Like Marilyn Manson was always somebody I wanted to meet, and then when he went through all this shit, did not want to meet. So I just like to stay away. But then I want to like, I very much would like to. I think he's such an interesting character, but like, I'm like, I'm such a fan since I was a kid that I'm like, this could only let me down somehow.
I met him. He's very interesting. He's an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a, you know, if you think of some of the songs he's made, like Beautiful People, you don't make that unless you're out of your fucking mind. Like that's part of the package.
Oh,
you want brilliant, fucking wild music, you gotta get a dude who's out of his fucking mind.
Do you have any theories on why people can't, like classic, amazing bands can't make a classic again? Comedians can still write their best joke,
right?
And it will be accepted. Everyone's looking for that. What's the new thing? But like, if Guns N' Roses got everybody back together again and sat in a room for 3 months, they can't make Welcome to the Jungle again.
They're not the same guys. You know, that's part of the problem. And then also part of the problem is, I went to see Guns N' Roses in Athens. I saw them in Greece. It was just a total coincidence. I was there with my family, and I ran into Axl Rose at a restaurant.
This is more recent?
Real recent.
Oh, okay.
Last summer. Like last summer, the summer before last, I guess. And, you know, it's one of those weird moments like, God, I hope he knows who I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go say hi, I'm going to be a dick. And this is after my friend tried to say hi to him and he got shooed away. So I went over to his table and he was like, oh, hey, man, what's up? I'm like, whew. I go, really nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan of this thing. Because we're doing a concert here tomorrow night. You want to see him? I'm like, fuck yeah. And so my whole family went to see Guns N' Roses. We were backstage watching. It was amazing. 3-hour performance. These guys are in their 60s.
Yeah.
They're fucking rocking hard.
I saw them on the new tour.
3 hours. But the thing is, they have so many hits. If you want them to do all the songs you love, it's gonna take a long time, and if they're gonna add new songs,
Isn't it crazy too that it's essentially 4 albums?
crazy.
All of that from 4 albums.
Bangers.
Yeah.
You know?
They did great. I was
Oh my
pretty
God.
impressed with from even again the age.
Dude, Welcome to the Jungle, to this day, I'll hear that song and go, God damn, that was a fucking good song.
I took my parents to see it in Madison Square Garden, and it was such a weird. I got so strange. The things I get emotional about are ridiculous. I got like teary-eyed emotional when it starts Welcome to the Jungle. You know, they start playing the riff, and I got immediately teary-eyed because I was like, it just took me back immediately to a time. It was like a time travel. And I was like, holy shit, I'm like 11, 12 years old, got this album. And my mom was like, what is that shit, you know? And now my mom's like here with me watching them as a classic rock band.
What year did Welcome to the Jungle come out?
87, I want to say. 86.
I remember being right out of high school at the gym, lifting weights. The first time I heard it, they were, you know, at the gym, everybody would just play what's on the radio. You know, WCOZ. And we were listening to I think it was WBCN, the Rock of Boston. Appetite for Destruction, 87. Yep, so that was 2 years out of high school. And I was like, wow, listen to this.
Do you know the first time I heard it, and like kind of backwards tracked it from there, I think it came out, pretty sure it came out first, was the movie Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
The Deadpool, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And the scene was pre-famous Jim Carrey plays a rock star junkie, and they're shooting his music video, and the song they're using is Welcome to the Jungle.
Really?
Yeah, you can see it's a pretty popular scene. It's, if you look that up, Deadpool, the Deadpool. Deadpool Jim Carrey.
When did Motley Crue come out with Kickstart My Heart?
That's probably 86.
That was my favorite workout song of all time. Look at that.
Jim Carrey.
That's Jim Carrey.
Isn't it funny? Even though he's not being funny at all, he's still, it's like his movements are so Jim Carrey.
Hey, Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank. I'm a huge fan. Hey, what is your #1 tip for saving money?
Easy. Pay off your credit card debt as soon as possible. And there's actually a way to do that without paying the full amount.
What if I can't afford to pay more every month?
You actually don't have to pay more. In fact, your monthly payments go down, and they can go down as much as 40%.
So monthly payments go down, total debt goes down.
Like again,
right.
But like again, you don't get to be Jim Carrey unless you're out of your fucking mind.
No, he's showing that now too.
You don't get to be that guy. You don't get to be Fire Marshal Bill unless you're out of your fucking mind.
I'll make a lot of concession for someone's process, but when I watched that documentary about him doing the Andy Kaufman movie, and him coming into the makeup thing every day and really like screaming and bothering the shit out of everybody, as you see Judd Hirsch's face in the documentary, like, that's plenty, we're good.
Yeah.
I get it, you have to get into your mode or whatever, but like, come on.
Apparently he would go nutty if he fucked a scene up and like smash things.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that was not his personality when he was talking out of his ass cheeks. You know what I mean? Or when he was doing Vanilla Ice in Living Color. You know what I mean? Like, what's that personality shift where you become a guy who's kind of like rude to interviewers and stuff like that? Like, strange.
Well, I think when you're trying to get into a character, there's like a thing that some of these guys do where they are just that guy the whole time. Like who was it that played Lincoln?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, right? Yeah. So when Daniel Day-Lewis was playing Lincoln, he was apparently Lincoln.
Yeah, they said all day.
All day long, all the time.
Yeah.
So if you're playing Andy
you shouldn't let him eat modern foods then. That's catering.
Right.
Here's your mutton, Mr. Lincoln.
Right, you gotta go full old school. Shit in a hole in the ground, sir.
We're having Chilean sea bass. You? A bowl of gruel?
Some deer jerky. Yeah, like, and no toothbrush.
Yeah.
We haven't figured out toothbrushes yet. When do they figure out toothbrushes? That's a good question. Like, when do people start brushing their nasty fucking teeth? Can you imagine what breath smelled like in like the 1500s?
My producer brings it up all the time, because he watches a lot of like period piece shows like that, and even like the
like Peaky Blinders. What are
those
their
old shows? They
assholes
always have like attractive people in these like the Deadwood times.
Right.
Like Deadwood, and then the girl, she'll like lift her skirt up, and you're like, God, I bet it smells like a fucking murky dungeon down there. And then when she bathes, and then there's no shower, so they have to just bathe in it and just hope that whatever's in there washes to the surface.
What did people smell like back then?
That's what I mean. It's like prostitutes stuff you go, it's like, what's the best they could do?
And by the way, they probably smelled better than the people living in the cities.
Mhm.
The people living in the cities were all just using public outhouses. The cities were filled with shit from horses. It's like, oh.
Coming home and kissing your wife at the end of the day is just
Yeah. You're tracking shit everywhere. And so is your dog, and so are your cats. Everyone's tracking shit all over your house, all over your tables. There's shit everywhere.
Yeah, just wooden floors with dirt all over them.
Shit, and just little scabs of shit everywhere. There's just shit everywhere you go, and everyone has smallpox.
That's why, no one can. If your wife, if your husband died, you have to marry his brother.
That's why anybody talking about the good old days, shut your stupid mouth. This is the good old days.
With basic hygiene.
Yeah, books and medicine and shit. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, I wish I lived back in the 1600s when I died if I broke my ankle.
No, but if I could have picked, again, it's so hard because like moving backwards, like, well, I would take all the technology of now, of course.
Well, you can't go anywhere. Then you can't make it like a hybrid deal.
No, it's not a hybrid deal. But if I was saying, if I have to just let go of that, it seems like what the most fun time would have been to be like a teenager in 20s, 70s, I think.
Well,
Just listen to Ambrosia. Fucking, you could wear a silk shirt unironically.
we were all real confused.
If you were chubby, nobody even cared. Chubby guys got pussy in the 70s if you had a beard.
Did they?
As long as you had a beard and some long
And
hair.
you knew how to get cocaine.
Yeah, and if you knew how to get cocaine. I grow a long pinky nail so people would know my house was the party spot.
Yeah, that used to be a thing. You see a guy with a long pinky. That long pinky nail was like, oh, that guy parties. That was like when there was a bad guy in the movie had a long
A
pinky.
long pinky nail.
Yeah.
Which is so gross.
That's so disgusting. We think what that's how bad people want cocaine. They'll snort it off some dude's stinky fucking fingernail.
Oh yeah, I did a gig opening for Bobby Slayton years ago at the West Palm Improv, the old West Palm Improv. And
That was a great room.
the guy, yeah, the wide, shallow
that was
one.
a great room.
And I forget the name, it was Joey something was the guy who hosted. But he was like local legend, this guy. And he brought us back to his head. He took us to the strip club and it was like everyone knew him kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then brought girls back to his house. And I am always impressed with the level of like a person who carries their morbid obesity with like a not give a shit, and also have no care that the girls are gonna suck his dick or fuck him because he's got coke. You know what I mean? Like, I'm bad at the like fuck me for something thing, and like with this guy, we went back to his house. I mean, his underwear and like a robe open. You know what I mean? With all these girls around, just giving him coke and shit. Was wild. But he had a cabana in the back of his house. But the most interesting thing about him that I found out was the next day he wanted to take me somewhere to eat. So he picked me up, and he was a narcoleptic. And every time there was a red light, he'd fall asleep and snore. Not just fall asleep, snore.
And he's driving?
Yeah, and you have to acknowledge it. You gotta go like, hey, man.
Oh my god.
Hey, you okay? You just never acknowledge it. You go, yeah, I'm good. And you just go, and as soon as we hit a red light, like loud, aggressive snoring.
Now, is he
The
an
second he fell
actual
asleep.
narcoleptic, or does he have severe sleep apnea? Because if he's a big fat guy, he's probably never rested.
Eyes closed, head goes in the
Out
shoulder.
cold instantly.
Instantly.
What is narcolepsy from? Like, do like healthy people have narcolepsy? Like, is there any athletes that have narcolepsy?
They said Ron Jeremy was the person who had it, and
He's another guy who's big and fat.
yeah,
That's the
but
thing,
he
I'm
one time
wondering.
he came to the cellar one time with that Dennis Hoff guy,
Mm-hmm.
which yeah, that was a guy of the people like quote unquote celebrities who would come in that I can never pay like homage to and have like the thing was they didn't want to meet was like a Dennis Hoff.
The
I don't know why-
pimp of the bunny house.
Yeah, I don't know why it was so celebrated. I know it's like it's legal, but like you still don't see his personality as kind of skeevy as shit.
Well, there was a weird time where, for whatever reason, they were kind of celebrating pimps and prostitutes. Like, do you remember Pimps Up, Hose Down?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a famous
Mr. White
documentary.
Folks.
Mr. White Folks, yeah. They coming straight in. Trust me, I'm good. Nothing.
Get pussy! Get out of there!
in a car accident? Here's exactly how to get every dollar you're owed. If you've been in a car accident in the last year, even as a passenger, you could be sitting on thousands, maybe even over $100,000 without even realizing it. But most people never check what their case is really worth, and insurance companies are banking on that. The reality is, insurance companies are not on your side. Their job is to protect their bottom line, which means paying you as little as possible. They use complex legal language, endless paperwork, and deliberate delays to make you give up before you ever see a dime. But what if I told you there's a simple, risk-free way to find out exactly how much money you could be owed? No going to court, no fighting with insurance adjusters, and no paying upfront legal fees. You could get every dollar you deserve just by following 3 simple steps. It only takes 30 seconds to find out if your case qualifies. No legal jargon, no confusing forms, just 5 multiple choice questions. That's all it takes to determine if you could be entitled to a life-changing cash payout. If your case qualifies, a compensation specialist will reach out to you and guide you through the process. You don't need to become a legal expert or handle difficult negotiations. They do all the work for you. You simply tell them about your accident, and they take it from there. No upfront costs, no obligations, and you don't pay a dime unless you win. Once everything is handled, your check could arrive in as little as 30 days. That's right. You could have a 5 or 6 figure payout in your hands without setting foot in a courtroom. Now let me tell you about Brooke. Brooke was in a car accident about 6 months ago. She didn't think she had a strong case, and she almost didn't even check. She figured the insurance company had already given her what she was owed. But after answering those same 5 simple questions, she discovered she was entitled to over $100,000. $100,000 that she would have walked away from if she hadn't checked. So let me ask you, what would an extra $10,000, $50,000, even $100,000 do for you right now? Could it help you cover rent, pay off lingering medical bills, or take the stress off your shoulders so you can focus on recovery? That money could be rightfully yours, but waiting too long could cost you everything. Because here's the catch. These cases don't stay open forever. If you wait too long, you could lose your chance.
He was the best. Yeah, I watched all those.
But they were like celebrated. Like people liked, and then there was American Pimp. Remember that film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's weird.
It was, well, that was like the small window of like pro-sexuality and go be whores, girls, and then it immediately became Me Too.
But it was
That
weird.
happened
It was
immediately.
weird though because it was the exploiters of those women. It wasn't like it's okay to be a prostitute. It's cool to be the man who exploits all these women and gets them to go be prostitutes for him.
I think it took 20-some years for people to realize that Joe Francis was a terrible guy. You know what I mean? He was celebrated as hell. I just heard a Howard Stern clip the other day where he had Joe Francis on. I'm sure if you asked him about Joe Francis now, he'd be like, what a terrible piece of shit.
Yeah.
But when Girls Gone Wild was a thing, everyone was just like, who cares how it gets done?
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Like Girls Gone. Well, that's how when the internet wasn't around, you could buy tapes of drunk girls at the bar flashing their boobs and you'd pay for it.
Yep.
You'd pay for it.
Yeah.
And it had like a production value.
Oh, now you pay for it, and then you were part of a subscription service that.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and then every month it would be like Girls Gone Wild, Girls on Campus 2, and Girls Covered in Bubbles.
Was it one of those things where they trick you into subscribing?
Yeah. It's Columbia House, like.
Columbia House for titties.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, Columbia House and me have ruined the credit of all my pets in my life.
They get your credit? Columbia House got in your credit?
No, I'm saying you send the penny and you put your cat's name down and then they just send you 10 CDs.
But it doesn't ever really.
What was the checks and balances on that?
None. I always thought that was a fluff up scheme for the record business, where they could say they sold more records than they did.
That's possible. That's actually not a bad move.
Kind of a good move if you want to get a gold record or a platinum record. Sell as many as you can.
Give me 10 CDs. When it went up to $1, send $1 is where it stopped.
Enough,
that's where
guys.
But $1.
I'm willing to give you a penny.
Yeah, to me $1 really was like. No, I just usually tape a penny to a postcard. What a concept too. Tape penny here, it said.
It was the dumbest concept ever. You give them 1 penny, and if you give them 1 penny, they give you a bunch of CDs, and you're supposed to give them money. You're like, well, you get to pick them.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You pick your first tip.
AC/DC.
It was my before I had porn magazines readily available to go into a bathroom or anywhere where there was a bathroom where I felt I could quietly.
Listen to this. There's no excuses anymore. There's so much potential. It's just you can get lost in here having fun.
I have not been out of the studio in like 18 hours, but I'm hitting the best creative flow with this plug-in right now.
Let me show you how it works. As if Output Arcade couldn't get even more awesome, it can, because you can create your own custom kits with your own sample. Just drag it into Arcade, drop your samples here, boom, hit Generate Sampler, and within a matter of seconds, I didn't even hit save and play yet, and we're already in business. There is no reason why every single person can't come up with something unique. Load up Output Arcade and start playing and start creating today, because Output Arcade is more than a sampler, it's an instrument. We got shifted, so you can hear how differently the same sample gets chopped up instantly without even having to do anything. And the modifier keys are already there, also fully customizable. Oh! You can see how quickly, not only does the custom kit give you your sample chopped up in ways you never would have thought of, but the modifier keys also take it to another dimension. And the best thing is, you can put any sample in the Output Arcade. Drag your sample in there, generate sample. It's already sounding cool. There we go. Oh! That's it. Using your own sample, you can just load it into Arcade and generate your own custom kit. It's incredible. Your creative workflow never ends. You can get a free trial right now. Just click the link below, go to output.com, and try it for yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about.
EVE Online is a vast universe, alive with the unrelenting activity and combined history of its players. Pursuing lives of adventure, warfare, and prosperity, they share this existence in the biggest single shard, free-to-play MMO of all time. Set 21,000 years in the future, EVE takes place in a distant cluster of over 7,000 star systems known as New Eden. It is a rich and diverse universe featuring densely populated havens of relative safety governed by 4 great empires. Hostile systems where player alliances make the rules. Even regions of anomalous and unexplored space that hold their own secrets. You play as a Capsuleer, a revered breed of highly trained pilot, having achieved immortality through the use of cloning technology. You navigate the universe encased in an armored capsule deep within your ship, where you have complete neural control and function as one. There are hundreds of ships to fly in EVE. Everything from small, nimble craft and versatile mid-range vessels to formidable warships and colossal freighters. Each has advantages and suited roles, but all are completely customizable as you decide how to equip and arm them. What you do in New Eden is entirely up to you. EVE's immense sandbox gives you the opportunity to choose between multiple professions and activities. The key to this unique customization of your playstyle is skill training. This is a passive process, and it continues whether you are in or out of game. As a new player, level of specialization as a veteran. So be adventurous and explore new avenues of development for your character, as you can always change role and reinvent yourself if desired. If you want to fight, combat in EVE can involve solo missions against non-player adversaries, or small group skirmishes, while for some, it can even be the thrill of fleeting up with thousands of fellow pilots and battling over disputed territory. If you want to explore, then the discovery of uncharted space.
Look at porn magazines. It was the TV guide. Take the TV guide to the bathroom, do the crossword puzzle, and then pick my 10 CDs for a penny. Because it was always an insert on the TV guide.
That's right.
It was the postcard.
Yep.
Tape penny here.
And you send it in, and all of a sudden you get cassette tapes are in the mail. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It was so great.
But isn't it a smart move on their part, because it probably introduced people to a lot of music? Because if you think about it, you're only listening to the radio is only playing what they play, and they can only play so many songs, right? And if it's a hit, they're going to play that hit over and over again. You can hear this, there's Rolling Stones, there's the Led Zeppelin, you don't have a lot of time for other music.
No.
So this is a good way, even if you're giving it away to people, which mostly are. Like what percentage, let's find this out, what percentage of people actually paid for their Columbia record and tapes?
I think adults would definitely end up paying for it, because I think the deal was you're giving them your address.
Right.
So whatever the fake name you put down, they're billing.
I don't remember them chasing me at all.
I didn't feel it, but they have. But what they would do though is send you more. They would send you I'd get like a CD every month that I wasn't picking.
It reached its peak in '94. It accounted for 15.1% of all CD sales.
Yeah.
It had 10 million members.
Yeah.
You became a member of a club. That was kind of what was happening.
Right. What percentage of people paid them?
Well, I mean, it doesn't say it on here.
But if you think about just that, that's almost like more radio, right?
Yep.
You're putting the song on the radio for free. You're sending out these cassettes, even if people don't pay. That music's getting out there. They're gonna maybe buy another Rolling Stones record, tickets to see the Rolling Stones.
Well, but people didn't complain about being part of Columbia House, I don't feel like. But it's like, remember when, as like Metallica getting furious about like LimeWire and Napster and those things, but it's like it is sort of the same thing. Like you're sacrificing,
but it wasn't for them.
They came from a time though where the money was from the recording.
Yeah, but it wasn't taking away from the money of the recording, because you couldn't. It wasn't that many people doing it. When it became something you could just download on your computer, that got weird.
Sure.
And then record sales dropped off a cliff. So they were right in the sure that you can stop it. Like you couldn't stop it.
Right.
Once they were trying to put fingers into a broken dam. There's no way. Like you got to get the fuck out of the way. Like you can't. Once it's on the internet, when things are on the internet, you can't say it's stealing to download it to your fans. You can't do anything. You just got to realize, oh, the world just changed.
The people stand off for a while too. Like Maynard did not want to go on Apple Music or Spotify or anything forever.
I think Garth Brooks didn't either, right?
Kid Rock didn't for a long time. And then a lot of them would try to go and I'm going to do my own Apple Music. No one
Jay-Z did that, right?
Yeah, Tidal.
Did that work?
I don't. It's interesting. When I talked to Kevin Hart in Montreal some years back, and he was buying up
WD-40 in that lock. put some WD-40 in there, which will help with that top bowl.